Welcome to Dirty Rush, the truth about sorority life, with your hosts, me, Gia Giudice,
Daisy Kent, and Jennifer Fessler.
Hey guys, and welcome to Dirty Rush, where we are giving you the inside scoop on sorority life. In this episode, we are talking about standards. Standards is basically a group of people who run a committee and basically punish you on your behavior. There is proper etiquette and proper behavior that is necessary while being in a sorority. And we are going to dive deep, have some callers calling in and telling us their standard story. And at the end, maybe you'll hear a story from me. I have a celebrity guest here with me today, Mercedes Northup. Welcome to Dirty Rush.
Excited to be here.
So excited to have you here.
Yes.
So, a new announcement. You just launched your podcast.
Yes, famously available with Ben. It has been so much fun. I'm having fun. It's all about dating. So, you know.
You're getting back into the dating world.
Yes, girl, I'm back in there. It's so scary, but I'm ready.
Honestly, this is so fun though.
Yes.
It's a dating podcast. You're kind of just doing the intros right now.
Yep.
But then you're going to get into dating life.
Going on dates.
Via podcast.
Yeah, which is so crazy.
That's interesting.
So I kind of took a break from dating. I haven't dated in like 2 years, which is a long time.
It's a long
But I just
break.
needed like time just to like, I don't know. I had a really bad situationship again, you know. So I had 2 years off. And I was telling my mom, I'm like, I think the next time like I'm gonna go on a date, like they're setting me up on a date, I need to like get ready. So I have I'm calling it my practice date on Saturday. The poor guy doesn't know it, but
who knows? Maybe this practice date will like be your knight in shining armor.
Literally. You never know.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, fingers crossed for this date on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'll keep you updated.
Okay, so Dirty Rush, you know that it's all about sorority life, and we kind of just talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and really get into the truths about sorority life. So where did you go? Were you in a sorority?
Yes.
What was your experience like?
So I went to Iowa State, and
So you stayed in state?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I did too.
Went to Iowa State, studied fashion. It was like, I loved that school. It was so much fun. But I honestly didn't know much about recruitment. But a few girls.
Were you the oldest?
Yeah.
Okay,
And my mom was like, had me at 15, like she didn't go to college. So
Yeah,
I was like the
my
first
mom
one.
knew nothing. When I
Yes.
go, you have to pay dues. She goes, "What?
Just like, what
what's
is that?
Yeah,
Literally.
You're rushing a sorority. What's that?
Literally, that was me. I had no idea what I was doing, what I was getting myself into. But my roommate, she was like, I'm doing it. Like, you should do it with me. And I'm like, okay, like, sure. Why not? Like, let's just see what it is. Went through recruitment, had a really good recruitment process, honestly. And my top 3 were DZ, Kappa, and Tri-Delt.
Okay.
And then Pref Night, I went Kappa and DZ. And then I ended up going DZ, bidded them, they bidded me. So that's where I went. And I loved DZ. It was so much fun. I met like all my best friends. But there was some issues too. They were very hard on us sometimes, like just having like certain things that we could do and couldn't do. And I was, you know, a freshman. I'm like, I'm literally in college. This is my time to like do what I want. Like, let me go to a party. Let me post a beer.
And you couldn't.
And we would get fined.
Yes.
Oh my God. I was stayed in standards.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like they loved sending my ass to standards. They really did.
But it was until you were initiated. After initiation, then you were able to, right?
No.
Oh no.
No, they were very strict.
Oh, maybe they didn't want that image on their
Which is so
sorority.
crazy because we were like kind of known as the party house.
Okay.
But they like were they were strict.
And you were in your sorority all 4 years?
No, I actually dropped my junior year.
Did you just not
Just
think
because,
it was worth it anymore?
I was tired of getting fined, like random things. Like I don't even remember what I got fined for, but I was like, I'm not paying that. Like I'm not doing this anymore. Like, and it was just so expensive.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's a money grab.
Yeah, I think my dues were like $300 a month. And then if you missed, which as a college student, it's like pretty expensive.
No,
like I
it's
was
a lot.
paying for it. So that was that. And then also like if you missed, why am I forgetting what it's called? Like
Chapter.
they fine you like $100. And I'm I'm not doing that. And I loved going home and like being with my family, and it was always on Sundays. So I was like, yeah,
Chapter was always on Sundays.
Always on Sundays.
Oh, I hated that when I would go home for Sunday dinner and I had to leave to go to chapter.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I'm
annoying.
Like, let me spend time with my
family. And I would
family.
have to like request like, can I go on Zoom today for this chapter meeting?
Literally. And chapter was so...
They would always say no. Sometimes we were in chapter for 5 minutes.
I know. And then you had to do... Yeah. It was so dumb. Then you...
5 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just over the fighting and over getting in trouble with them. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to drop.
Sarah, welcome to Dirty Rush.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So excited to hear your story.
Yeah, so I think I kind of have a unique experience because when I was in college, I went to a really big public school in LA. Some people might know it. It's UCLA. And
So sick.
I definitely loved my experience, but so much so that I was president of my sorority. And so when I was president, I served on standards. A big reason why a lot of people got called into standards was because a lot of our events were off campus at different venues around the city in LA. And so there would be these long bus rides where people would heavily pregame prior to these bus rides to these events. And every single event without fail, somebody would throw up on the bus. And we had members of our sorority called sober sisters, sober monitors, whose role was to of course, make sure everyone was safe and okay, but also to give trash bags to anyone on the bus that looked like they were about to throw up, and then also report them back to the sorority if they did throw up, because then the sorority would have to pay that huge fine or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was a big standards call-in, and I, yes, was president, was serving on board of standards, but prior to that had been called into standards for throwing up on a bus. No, I was a freshman and I was actually supposed to be a sober monitor.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it was really bad. It was not only did you throw up on the bus, but you also threw up. You were watching everyone. Yeah, was not my proudest moment, but that's my standard story.
That is so funny. Girls got brought to standards because they were encouraging me to drink on bid night.
When you had just bid
Oh, I just went home. I just went to Zeta. I just got my bid. We ran home and it was bid day. So we were all just having a big party in the house. And
okay, be honest though. Did you feel peer pressured, or were you eager to take part?
No, 100% I felt peer pressured.
Oh, you did? Did you not want to drink?
No, because I knew I wasn't supposed to. Mm-hmm. But somehow standards got wind of it. And then my older sisters got in trouble because they were like, what are you doing? This is obviously unacceptable. And then that girl literally had to write an apology letter to me. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but obviously it was a big deal to the sorority because for liability purposes.
Then it's once standard catches you, then what do they do with you to punish you? This standard punishment was you have to be a sober sister again.
I think that was the main punishment for Zeta too. It was either they would take away some mixers, you weren't able to go out, or they made you a sober monitor for the next date party. And obviously if you got that, you were pissed because your night was ruined. I think standards definitely has their normal protocol and what they follow. I think the end goal is just to make you a better and more responsible person in the long run. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sarah.
This was really fun.
This was awesome, but I'm glad you made a step up. You went from throwing up on the bus on the way to a date party to then becoming the president of your sorority.
Yeah.
So that shows growth. This is exactly what the sororities wanted. Miranda, welcome to Dirty Rush.
Thank you so much. When you say the word standards, I get chills in my body. It literally brings back trauma feelings.
No, I hate that.
Yeah, in a funny way.
But I feel like everyone felt like that when they got called to standards.
It's so true because no one gets called in for a great reason. And our standards was made up of our friends, sorority sisters, and then an advisor or two. So it was pretty intense. And funny enough, when I was in my sorority, my sister was also in the same sorority and she was on standards.
She probably like internally wanted to kill you. Like, oh my God, my sister just getting called in.
The honest truth is, I wish it was for an exciting, fun reason, like a behavioral one, but I was called in with my sister to standards. And again, she was on standards because our bills were never paid because my dad is just a very fun, kind of traveling guy who just would completely forget or not send in the paycheck or the bill. And so we would get called in together. And again, she was on standards because our bills were not being paid. And I remember sitting there thinking, I'm 19. I have, $20 at best in my pocket. Like, I don't know what to do about this.
Yeah.
And it was just very awkward, hilarious experience because it was my friends saying, pay your bill. And me saying, okay, call my parents because I barely have money for dinner this week. When I hear standards now, it just brings up a little PTSD because it was not fun.
Looking back at standards, I feel like they were just trying to constantly teach you a lesson.
I so agree. I think there were so many lessons being in a sorority and learning to live with all the girls, and absolutely standards is reality.
Hi guys, it's Jen Fessler here with another standard story here on Dirty Rush. We have Elizabeth today who's going to talk to us about her experience that she had in terms of standards and what happened and how it all went down. So hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. Okay, yes. So my standard story was kind of the typical of posting with alcohol, not being able to post with alcohol, and I knew that. But basically, in my sorority, we have an Instagram account, and it's a normal girl's name, but if they comment a heart on your post, it means delete that post immediately, and we won't say anything to you, and it's all good. But my ambitious self was like, oh, they're gonna forget about that. They're not gonna remember they commented a heart. So I did not delete that post. And then I posted again with what looked like a lemonade cup. It could have been a lemonade cup, but it was alcohol. And they commented another heart on my post. And so I was like, oh no, like 2 hearts now. I should probably delete it, but I didn't.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. I think I was just kind of like, it looks like lemonade. Like, and I was like, this is such a double standard. So many of them post with alcohol, like, and it's just a favoriting thing. They pick the people they want to call apart, and then they pick people that they're like, oh, they can get away with it.
So it was almost like you're almost not giving them a F you, but kind of like you were sort of standing up for yourself and so it wasn't as if you were just like, yeah, they won't notice. It was more like, no, this is not fair.
I think it was a little bit of both. Like the first time it was like, oh, they won't notice. And then the second time it was like, this is so annoying. I keep seeing all these people in my sorority posting with alcohol as well. And all these posts are not getting hearts on it. Like, why am I getting a heart comment on mine? Right. So, and of course, I'm like thinking my private story on Snapchat is like a safe place to go. So I'm like, they're trying to take my like rights away. I can post whatever I want, whatever.
Listen, I mean, I don't think that's so, out of the realm of right and true. You should be able to post what you want. Although I guess what you guys post is in some way a reflection. We didn't have these problems when I was in a sorority 1,010 years ago. We didn't have social media. But was it a particularly fun post? Were you like, I love this post, I don't want to take it down?
It was a semester recap, so I was like, okay, I have to take the whole.
I spent time on it, yeah, right.
And it was like, and I think this was before the Instagram update of like you can delete one like slide out of your post. So this was before.
Oh, you can? That's good for me to know.
Now you can do that, but before you couldn't do that. So I was like, oh, this is my semester post. Like I'm in college, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but then they DM'd me and I'm like still in this stubborn state of mind of like I just won't open it. It doesn't say seen if I don't open it. So this Instagram account DMs me.
You're badass, Elizabeth.
I know. I'm like, I don't know what.
I want to meet your mom. I want my daughter to be just like this. She is actually like this.
I think my mom would be so upset with me.
Really?
She would just be like, just delete it. It's Instagram. And I'd be like,
maybe she's right. I don't even know. But I'm kind of like, I'm just happy to hear about you not letting yourself get pushed around. Although, maybe you did. Okay, I'll let you finish your story.
So then, anyways, I'm like, oh, I got away with it. But little did I know, I get a standards email. So I think every school does it different. But for mine, we get an email and it's like, come an hour before chapter on Sundays, and you just go into this room and they basically tell you what you did. Some people go in there like completely blind, like I don't even know what I did. I obviously had all of this and I knew what I did. So I go into this meeting, it's the president, risk chair, the standards committee, just like all of them. And I'm like,
do they sit in a circle, or do they like you have to face them all? Like
it's just like around a table and you just sit down on one of the chairs. It's actually like pretty chill at my school. They don't make it very crazy, but it is a little bit intimidating sitting down with like the president of your sorority and you know exactly what you did. And so, so they just sat me down and they were like, listen, like we commented the hearts, you know the drill, we DM'd you, I know you didn't open it. Like they knew exactly what I was doing. They're not stupid. And I was just like, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. I'm just explaining that. And then there has to be a repercussion for everything, basically, with standards. And so they had me write a handwritten paper, like a letter to them, basically saying how exactly what you said before, like, this is a reflection of us as a chapter. This isn't just because we want you to take down your Instagram post. And I was like, okay, that's okay, I'll do that. So it had to be a handwritten letter and I had to bring it into chapter the week after on Sunday. And so in this letter, I'm just like, this won't happen again. I understand this is a reflection of my sorority. I committed to something, like just kind of writing what they want to hear. I'm like, it's an Instagram post, I don't really care. And then, so then you have to bring it in the next week into chapter and hand it to them. But of course, you're walking into chapter with a piece of paper and everyone knows what this means. Like, it's a handwritten.
Does anyone really care? Isn't everyone like kind of laughing about it?
Yeah, it's a laughing matter. It's not like, oh my gosh, she blah, blah, blah. I mean, so many people have to do this. Half my friends had to do stuff because they didn't show up to events that were mandatory and they had to write a letter saying that it's really rude to commit to something and then whatever. So it's all handwritten letters. But when you're showing up to chapter with a handwritten letter, like everyone knows that you went to standard.
Right.
Like, hi guys, I'm like slyly handing my piece of paper to the person.
Were you embarrassed? Did you feel... I mean, I'm thinking about why they make you do it that way. Like why they make you walk into chapter with it written in front of everyone and hand it over. I mean, it's so obviously I'm sorry to say, but you may not agree, but to kind of shame you a little bit.
Oh yeah, I think half of it is, but I also think my sorority is like traditional with a lot of things. We don't like to do a lot of stuff on technology, so I think maybe the traditional part of it is like, oh, handwritten letter. It's a little bit more like authentic and like you mean it rather than like chat GPTing something or whatever.
I get that.
So but I think that actually like physically handing it to them during chapter is definitely like, oh, we're gonna
shame.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, were you upset? Did it take a toll on you?
I think I'm just like my stubborn self was like, they got me. Like it didn't upset me, but I was just
hilarious.
Like, of course I couldn't get away with it.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Like so many people get away with stuff like that though. I mean, like I was a sophomore when that happened, so a little bit of me was like, okay, just whatever, you're still an underclassman, like this happens, maybe you can get away with it junior and senior year if you really want to again. But I just think some of it's kind of like, I didn't know anyone in the standards committee or like the risk chair or anything. Like I wasn't friends with them, so they weren't gonna like favorite me like they favorite their friends. Like,
but can you say that to them? Like, can you say, I know that really?
Well, I wouldn't personally, but I'm sure people would, like ballsy people would, but I personally was just like, okay, I'll write this letter. Like, no worries.
Yeah, no, I get that. It just wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I want to have my daughter come on. She has a story about standards. Well, I should say we do, because she got called in to standards her senior year for something that happened to her. But instead of like there being any kind of real talk with her or like what happened, she just got an email she had to go in front of standards. And really inappropriate, because at some point you all are grown women and your mommies should probably stay out of it. But I completely lost my shit. And because I knew it was just like, they haven't even heard what you had to say. In standards, I guess she could have told them what she had to say, but standards is almost like you've done something wrong.
Yes.
And anyway, so I called the house mother. What are they called?
Yeah, the house mother.
House mother. And I said, this is completely unacceptable. You know, she was so upset because, and I'm hoping that she will come on and tell her story. I don't want to tell it for her, but it was really something that happened to her, and a really an awful thing. Anyway, so I said, I don't really get this. The whole point of this is that you meet these girls and they become your sisters. Should first like want to get behind you, talk to you what happened before bringing you in front of a disciplinary committee.
Right.
It just seemed egregious to me, and I was like just pissed. I was like, what is this for? If it's not to find people that are going to be on your side, not for everything. When you do something wrong, you do something wrong.
Yeah.
But in this case, she hadn't. And so it just made it worse that she was getting called into standards. Needless to say, they said, oh, you're absolutely right. She doesn't have to come in. And,
Good.
well, which was good for them, because I was ready to go down there. And yeah.
They didn't want to deal with you.
Exactly. Good for Rachel too, because I would have mortified her. But I think that probably for a lot of young women, girls, that it is really scary and it's intimidating. And I'm glad to hear you guys just kind of sit around a round table. I think that sometimes it's even more, it's like meant to be intimidating a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
You know?
Yeah, I think especially like just seeing your president and like people who are supposed to be like risk chair and all of that in front of your face.
So, I mean, I think that, you join a sorority to be part of this sisterhood and to know that all of these girls have your back, right? And I'm not taking away from the fact that if you screw up and you are doing something that is reflecting badly on your sorority, that there shouldn't be consequences for that. I absolutely know that that's true. And even back in my day, even though there wasn't social media, there was like a level, you could get in trouble, you can get thrown out, whatever it was. But I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm a little biased because of what happened to my daughter, but let's first like talk about it without going to standards, So before we go to a disciplinary committee, like what happened? I don't know, maybe not in your case because there was hard evidence you were ignoring them. You were kind of giving them the middle finger. So maybe not.
Yeah, no, they definitely gave me warnings, but I will say that is true because people who go in there blind and like have no clue what they did, like that's got to be intimidating, and that's got to be like, who knows what they're about to say to me.
Yeah.
Like could be the worst day of my life, could be okay, and you just don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen is that they can kick you out.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I guess there are also, well, I'm sure Gia probably already talked about it, but there's things that they can do. I mean, whatever. I don't know what in your sorority, what are the consequences? There are probably there are levels, I would think.
Yeah, you could be on probation, which I don't really know what those all entail, like with details, but yeah, you could be on probation for a little bit, or you could like not be able to go to a formal, which is the fun part, obviously.
Right.
So they definitely have different consequences. I think mine was like one of the lesser versions of what they do. I know a lot of my friends who have had to go also have to write handwritten letters, so I didn't think that was crazy that I had to do that, which I was grateful for. But yeah, they could have told me like, you're not going to this next formal.
Got it.
Whatever. But yeah, they didn't do that. Thank God.
Thank God. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That is the fun part. Well, anything else? Any other ideas or thoughts about standards, your experience?
I mean, with me, that was the only time I've gone. I will say that like,
You're a good girl.
I know we've talked about like shame and everything, and I don't think that's their intention with everything that they do. So I want to like take it with a grain of salt type of thing. Like I know a lot of my friends who have gone through like emotional stress and all of that get called into standards, which like you were saying with your daughter, that's not a great thing that they're getting called into standards because it makes it seem like they did something wrong. But when they actually are in the meeting, standards will be like, hey, we're here for you and we want to provide resources, but we need to kind of get you in like an area where we could all be with you. And this is just like the protocol. So I know that they do definitely help with that. They probably should go about it in a different way and not call it a standards meeting. But
listen, I'm glad to hear that. I really am. Thank you for clarifying that.
yes.
Because again, like when my daughter went through it, I was like, you're getting called into what? You have to stand in front of who? I don't think so. So yeah, no, I hear you. If that is, I mean, I think girls probably do still get scared, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, which I don't love. I mean, you should feel like you're talking to your sisters.
Yes.
I mean, you know, per se. Right.
Yeah. You're also talking to girls your own age. Like, I mean, a couple of them were older than me, like the president and stuff. But I was like, why am I next to someone who I literally just rushed with? And she's telling me what my consequence is. That's so awkward.
Yeah. Would you ever be on a committee, standards committee?
No, because I don't think I could do that to people that I'm like really good friends with.
Right.
I don't know. It's so awkward. And I've heard the stories of like, it gets complicated with friends and like if you're roommates with them and it kind of gets weird. Like, are you gonna do the same things that you would do before they were on this committee? Like, I don't want my friends to have to like hold back from their like lives just because I'm on this like committee. You know what I mean?
I would only think people would do it because it looks good on your resume, maybe.
Right. Yeah. It is great. It's a leadership position. It probably does look really good on a resume, but
And I'm wanting to do it otherwise.
yeah, I just wouldn't want like my friends or people to not do or act as they normally would around me just because I'm on
I
like
wouldn't want that either.
yeah.
I hear you. Okay, well, Elizabeth, thank you, sweet girl. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
And I'm glad that you escaped a bigger punishment and right, and that you're doing your thing, and that you're still going to the formals.
Yes, I am. Staying out of trouble.
Good for you. All right. Well, thank you so much. And we love talking to you. Thanks everybody that's listening. And girls, don't post things that you don't want to get in trouble for. That's the moral of this story. Okay. So now we have Rowan. Rowan, hi there. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you calling in from abroad. Where are you?
I'm in Portugal right now, but I study abroad in Florence.
Wow. How great is that?
Yes, it's amazing. I love it.
I'll bet. Do they have standards in Florence?
No, they don't. Good thing.
That's nice. That's nice. That's a good thing. So,
Yes.
Rowan, do you want to share where you go to school?
Yes, I go to UCLA.
Oh, you're a brainiac.
Just a little bit.
Very nice. Okay, so yeah, we've been doing a lot of talking about standards and different young women's experiences. So I'd love for you to share yours.
Yes, of course. I would love to share mine. Basically, this is my first time ever getting called into standards for my sorority. I had been at a frat event and I had just seen some stuff on the internet that was funny about people stealing composites and people, I don't know, doing silly things when they were out. And I thought it would be funny to steal a composite off of the wall because they were in the middle of the hallway and no one was inside. Everyone was outdoors. So I thought it would be funny. And I was talking to one of my friends about it. And she told me that I should do it. And I was like, okay, but I don't want to do it by myself. And she didn't want to do it with me. And so then I was like, I mentioned it to one of my other friends, and she said that she wanted to do it with me. So we both just decided to pick one, a random one, close to the door to escape. And we ripped it off of the wall and ran out of the house. And then I was worried about stealing it and not returning it. Like, I wanted them to have it back. I just thought it was funny in the moment. So I left it on the side of the road next to their house because we were worried about, I mean, they're pretty expensive and I felt bad. There's people on it and people that their pictures are taken and stuff like
What
that.
year? From what year? Do you remember? Was it from a long time ago?
I think the picture was 2011. So
Okay.
it wasn't too recent, but it wasn't
Okay.
too old.
Okay.
So it was like a little in between, but we
Okay.
left it on the side of the road. And then I think it got someone found it on the side of the road and I think it got maybe returned to them. But anyway, it had been a while, and then I had received an email from my sorority that had basically said, "Dear Rowan, you are called into a meeting with standards for your actions at said frat. Please meet with us at this time." And that's when I started to freak out a little bit because I had never been called into standards before.
Right.
And I did not know what to expect because I was a freshman in college and it was something that I was so new to that I was like, I don't know how they're going to punish me. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get fined. I don't know what's going to happen. And so my friend had gotten the same email. And so after chapter, we get called into this room.
Well, when she got the same email, did you guys then think, okay, so this is probably about the composite?
Yes. I assumed because it had said the fraternity's name, I knew that it was probably in regards to this. And since we both got the same email, we kind of connected the dots and were like, this is probably what it's for.
Okay.
They didn't say specifically in the email, I think, what I was being called in for, just I was being called in for something.
Okay.
And then I think they mentioned it in the meeting. Once I got there, they were like, this is why you've been called in. But in the email, they didn't say that.
Got it.
But I kind of figured that it was.
Right.
Yeah, and then I went into the meeting and they had basically asked me why I did it. And I had explained that it was really sorry and I regret doing it and that I thought it was funny. But it was kind of a stressful meeting. I don't know. And then then they told me that I had to write a letter to the fraternity president to apologize.
So by the way, you have to forgive me because at the beginning of this, I thought you had stolen a composite off of the sorority house. I didn't realize you stole it off of.
No.
Now it is funny. Now I think it's hilarious.
Yes, because if I had taken one out of the sorority, it would have been, I think, a little bit less problematic because it would be my own house. Right. But this was not my own house. So it was a little bit problematic.
Okay. All right. Oh, I get why you'd have to go to standards for that.
Yes.
But between you and me, nice move. I think it's hilarious.
Thank you. Thank you. It was fun. I thought it was funny and I still think it's funny.
Yeah.
But the whole reason, so when I got into standards, I at first was kind of like, how did they know I personally did this? Like, right. Because I was seen by nobody. Like, no one had watched me do it. And it was just me and my friend. No, I got caught on the security cameras outside of their front door. And they had a full video of us running out the door it was a huge composite. Like, I had to take two of us to carry it. Okay. And it was a video of us like running out the door, sprinting down the steps. And that's how I got caught. And they'd like pulled it up and were like, is this you? And it was me. But that's basically how I got caught and got sent to standards because the frat, I guess, sent it and were like, do you know who this is? And it was me and my friend, which is crazy.
So what were the consequences?
I had been told I was going to get fined and that I had to write a letter to the fraternity president stating my apology. And it was 2 pages long and I had to sign it and address him. And then I was told I was going to get fined and billed by the frat, but I'd never received that fine, like the billing from fraternity, because I found out that it was because they were too lazy to actually send me the bill. Like, they just didn't want to go through the process of, I guess, billing us. Yeah. But it was going to be a crazy amount, like $500+ because I think composites cost like $2,000. So we were going to have to split the fine and then it getting billed to us. But I guess they didn't care enough, were too lazy, didn't want to send us the bill. So I never got billed. But I still had to write a letter. Right. And I still got sent to standard.
The boys never even sent you the bill.
No.
Frat boys are the best.
Yes. And I didn't have to pay $500, which was amazing for my bank account.
Yeah, from your bank account. You wouldn't have gone to your parents?
No, no, I have not told my parents. They still do not know to this day.
That would have been, I don't know. I think my kids would have told me, and I would have said, well, that sucks for you that you have to pay it. But I still think it's funny.
Wait, yeah, I think my mom would have had the same reaction of, that sucks for you and you have to pay that. But
yeah.
It's kind of funny.
There are a lot of really kind of scary stories, scary standard stories. So I actually appreciate hearing this one because it makes me giggle. It doesn't feel really that serious. And it's something that I would have absolutely done at your age. And I would probably do it today.
Yep.
And now you have a story.
Yes, exactly. A story that I'll have for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, now let's get into my standard story. So, my standard story is a little different than the norm. It happened season 11 of Real Housewives of New Jersey, which aired in 2021. So, in that episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey, my mom and Jackie were arguing. My mom heard a cheating rumor, and Jackie goes, "That's like me hearing that Gia snorts coke in the bathroom at parties." My mother flipped out. It was obviously like a very insane statement to make, regardless if it was an analogy or not. Like, you're talking about somebody's child and drugs. Like, there was just a lot wrong with that statement, and it blew up. So 2021, it was my junior year of college, and my friend was on standards, and Zeta got wind of it that this was out there. And they said to my friend, "Do you think we should call Gia in to standards to ask her, one, if I do coke in the bathroom, and two, if she's okay?" If she's okay was just kind of their, oh, let's be nice, make sure that like her mental health is in check. They really wanted to know if I did coke in the bathroom. And my friend on standards looked at them and just basically said, "This is a bad idea. Gia is going to be so mad that you are bringing her mom's show and something that didn't involve her, but a comment was made about her, and now you're bringing that into her college sorority life." My friend knew that I was going to be so pissed. So she warned me I was going to be pulled into standards. I was pissed. And I'm sitting on this Zoom call with like a straight face, and they go, "Gia, like we saw what has been on the tabloids and what just aired on Bravo. Do you participate in doing the drug cocaine?" And I was like, "No, I do not do coke." And they saw just how like unfazed I was and how pissed I was. And it kind of ended there. It was a very quick phone call, but it just annoyed me that something so avoidable and a very stupid comment that was obviously made on The Real Housewives of New Jersey affected me in my college life. And just that people were talking about it. And also, the girls in my sorority knew that I didn't engage in cocaine. They knew that I didn't do the drug. So it was just such a crazy statement and such a crazy question to ask me. You didn't have to bring me to standards for that. And they blamed it on nationals. They said that nationals got involved and wanted them to clarify and just ask me about the topic. And I was like, also, if you guys really knew me, and they all were out with me all the time at mixers, day parties, like you knew the girls that did drugs, or you knew. They knew that I never participated in any of that. So that's what got me even more mad, because I'm like, oh, what did you guys just get off on asking me something that had something to do with the Real Housewives of New Jersey? I just thought it was a very immature move, very immature thing. And they probably just were on their high horse for a minute and got off on it, but definitely annoyed me. But yeah, that was the only time I got called to standards. And I was so upset that I texted Jackie Goldschneider about it afterwards. And I was like, I just got called to standards because of the comment that you made. And I understand, like, this is a reality TV show and my mom did something that hurt you, but I had nothing to do with what my mom did to you on the show. So I just didn't appreciate that you had to bring me into your argument, and now it costed me. It was humiliating, to be called to standards for something that I didn't do and that I would never entertain or engage in. And I was like, this is just unacceptable. And she obviously apologized, and she never wished for that to happen to me. And yeah, now me and Jackie are fine and all is good. So this was our inside look into what the life of standards is. I would say it's kind of a little government that runs sorority life and keeps everything in check. And that was it for this week's episode of Dirty Rush.